begin tonight from Kano, Nigeria's northwestern region. After a series of accusations and counter-accusations, the state deputy governor, Hafiz Abubakar, has finally thrown in the towel over disagreements between him and the state governor, Abdullahi Ganduje. In his letter of resignation dated August 4th and addressed to the state governor, Mr. Abubakar said he was signing to the state governor, Mr. Abubakar, he said he was resigning as a result of irreconcilable differences between them after making several attempts to reconcile the said differences to no avail. The letter read in part, "I would have desired to remain up to the end of our tenure in order to fulfill the aspirations and expectations of the good people of Kano State, as expressed in their mandate given to our joint ticket in 2015. But with the current and persistent irreconcilable differences on matters relating to governance and government operations, personal opinions, and the concept of and respect for democratic ideals and values, it would be unfair to my conscience, to the good people of Kano State, and to you as the head of the government to continue to remain in my position as the deputy governor of Kano State." He added that rather than heed his counsel, the governor's reaction had always been to persecute and mete out all sorts of injustices against him. Only last week, Mr. Abubakar had raised alarm over alleged threat to his life. The state government, which confirmed receiving Mr. Abubakar's resignation, however, says the resignation was tendered after 30 members of the State House of Assembly signed a notice to impeach him. Although there have been speculations that Mr. Abubakar was planning to defect to the opposition party, the PDP, he's yet to make any categorical statement on his next political move. Meanwhile, it appears the last has not been heard of politicians and defections. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari today received Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio in London, where he is currently on vacation. There have been speculations over plans by the senator representing Akpabio Northwest to defect from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. One of the president's aides, Senator Ita Enang, through his social media handle, announced that the senator will be formally received into the fold of the APC come Wednesday, August 8th at Ikotapene in Akwa Ibom State. The visit by the senator today may have given credence to that suggestion. In the last 2 weeks, there's been a gale of directions from the ruling APC. 14 senators and 37 members of the House of Representatives had announced their defection to the PDP on the floors of the National Assembly. This was followed shortly by the defection of 3 APC governors, Samuel Otom, Abdul Fattah Ahmed and Aminu Tambuwal, also to the PDP. The Senate President has also announced his exit from the ruling APC. There have been questions on the real reasons why several politicians are moving from one party to the other, as we've seen in the past few days. Today, a professor of political economy, Patrick Utomi, says as soon as politicians make their defection move based on selfish reasons, the essence of serving in public office is lost. Professor Utomi is asking politicians to put the interest of people first and play politics of ideology. He was guest earlier tonight on our political program, Sunday Politics.
When people talk about benefit and talk of themselves, then they miss the whole process. The benefit is supposed to go to the people. When we are driven by self rather than purpose, then we are not leaders. Leadership is other-centered behavior. It's what we can do sacrificially, giving of ourselves for the good of others. But when it's about me, myself, and I, one of the ultimate deadly social sins, as Gandhi gives us, is politics without principles. I'd rather stay with principles. Let our principles determine who we are, rather than a certain love for what will give me instant gratification of holding.
So is Nigeria ready for a woman president? Well, one of the presidential aspirants for the 2019 presidential election, Eunice Atuejide, believes the time to elect a woman president is in 2019. She is the founder of the National Interest Party, and she insists if she becomes president, her party will fix electricity problems urgently.
Nigeria is definitely ready for a woman president, but a lot more is required from me as a woman to convince them that I'm ready. So there are two links to that question. Nigeria, are we ready? Yes. The worst of our problems is that in privatizing the energy production and distribution in Nigeria, our government did something very unfair. They held it down when it comes to distribution. So you can produce as much energy as you want to in Nigeria, but you must send it to the national grid. The first thing we'll do about electricity will make it possible for private sector people to not only produce, but to be able to transmit and distribute electricity.
Meanwhile, former Senate Majority Leader Ali Ndume has taken a swipe at his colleagues that recently left the ruling party for the opposition People's Democratic Party. Mr. Ndume told journalists in Maiduguri that the mass defection is a gang-up against the president and is mostly done by those accused of having corruption charges to answer. He says the defections will give the party a chance to determine its real members.
So if this gang-up, which is targeted to Buhari by, I would say politicians that are afraid. And you see James Hadley say it is the guilty, it's only the guilty that is afraid. The war against, or the fight against corruption is not going to be compromised by President Muhammad Buhari. And people feel that this war will get to them if he gets another term. So that's why you see conglomeration of the people of the same character. Let's get rid of this man first. If not, how can you compromise? There's only one presidential slot in PDP. And right now there are 12 people that are going for the same presidential ticket. But the strange thing about it is they are working together, and their own objective is to get Buhari out.
A pressure group under the auspices of Southern Borno Development Association is alleging marginalization by the Borno state government. The group consists of men and women from the 9 local government areas which the Southern Borno senatorial zone is made of. They're asking for a power shift to their zone, which has never produced a governor in the state.
It's the eve of another election year, the best time for interest groups to reposition themselves and be relevant. In Borno State, the Southern Borno movement for the rotation of power wants the minority tribes in the state to be given an opportunity to rule. The consensus after the meeting was a call for political parties to provide a level playing field for all aspirants, especially those from Southern Borno.
Power as well as governance comes along with development. And the way it is, as long as we don't also share in this power, our areas of Southern Borno will continue to be underdeveloped. And people forget, good governance is all about justice, equity, and inclusiveness, and we are not seeing that at all. This is why this time around, this movement is working hard to ensure that all sons and daughters of Southern Borno come out en masse to vote for their own son.
The Borno state government commends the conveners of the meeting for their peaceful approach, acknowledging that Southern Borno is the most literate part of the state.
It is gratifying to note that Southern Borno has always been in the forefront of stimulating self-project approach to issues of development, particularly in terms of infrastructure and human capital development. As a result, the area has the highest literacy rate in the state and among the best in the country, and indeed in the model of efficiency in terms of social services and infrastructure facilities.
Since the return of democratic rule, it's been the tradition of political parties to field a governorship candidate from northern or the central zone, while the deputy usually comes from the Southern Borno region.
20 suspected armed bandits have been killed by the Nigerian army during a raid of their hideout in Maradun, Safi and Zurmi local government areas of Zamfara state. The spokesperson of Operation Sharandaji, Colonel Muhammad Dole, says the bandits were killed during a gun duel with troops at Dabandoka, Yankuzu and Meitukunya villages near Dansado, where several others escaped with gunshot wounds. The troops of Operation Sharandaji have destroyed several camps belonging to the armed bandits during the raid. They've also apprehended 2 notorious bandits terrorizing Maradun in town and its environs in Maradun local government area, recovering weapons, ammunition, motorcycles, phones and cows. According to Colonel Dole, the area is calm and internally displaced persons have returned to their villages in Zurmi local government area. Troops of Operation Lafia Dole have arrested a wanted Boko Haram suspect at Bangui in Borno State. In a statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Sextus Chukwu, the suspect, Maja Lawan, is believed to be number 96 on the wanted list earlier published by the Army. He was apprehended after he had infiltrated the internally displaced persons camp in the area. He is now being investigated before being handed over to the appropriate authority for prosecution. The Army, in a statement, reminds the public to be vigilant and report any suspicious persons, movements and activities to the law enforcement agents. Staying with security, many of Nigeria's challenges can be placed at the doorsteps of unscrupulous politicians who refuse to tell the truth. Convener of the All Progressives Congress Parliamentary Support Group, Dr. Abdulmumin Jibrin, told Channels Television's Ladi Akeredoluade on our special political program, Roadmap 2019, that many community and religious leaders cannot escape blame for the spate of insurgency across the country. Dr. Jibrin says President Buhari cannot be blamed for this and is doing his best in the circumstances.
It is time for us to tell ourselves the truth. The issue of security in this country is in 2 segments. You have the preventive stage and, of course, the reactionary stage. The preventive stage is for the community to see how they can even prevent a crisis from happening. Then the reactionary is when there is crisis, you now start calling police, army, whatsoever you have, the interior ministry to come in and help the situation. The fact of the matter is that we politicians are the ones creating the whole of this crisis. This crisis takes place in community. Nobody has more military or soldiers than a politician. Now, are you telling me in the 2 local governments that I represent in the federal house, I don't know what is going on there? It's a lie. Any member who tells you he doesn't know what is going on in his constituency, he's telling lies. Today, if there are intruders in my local government, in any ward in my local government, I'm the first person that will know. If there are people who are piling arms, I will know. If there's a potential crisis about to happen, I will know. How many police are in my local government? Maybe you have about 100 police in my local government. As against even just in my village that we have about 5,000 or 10,000 people. Then in the 2 combined local governments, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of people. So we've all taken side. Politicians instigate crisis for their own gains. Community leaders instigate crisis for their own gains, use hate and the rest. Religious leaders, what we tell ourselves in mosques, what we tell ourselves in churches, why are we pretending about it?
For the full interview with Dr. Jibrin, please watch Roadmap 2019. It airs tomorrow right here on Channels Television at 9 p.m. In part 2 after the break, growing concerns over delay in passage of the budget for the conduct of the 2019 general elections, which is less than 200 days away. Please stay with us.